Hello everyone. I don't know if anyone is with us just yet, but it's Ricky with Apple Valley Farm. We are quarantined here at the house. Cretia is behind the camera. Can you wave around at everyone?
Well, hang on.
Cretia's there. She's our videographer today, and she is gonna video, or she's running the camera while we do Carpenter bee trap. I'm pretty excited about this. I've had a few people asking me about Carpenter bee traps, and it's not something that we have done before. So this was my first one, and I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's all right. It's a little bulky up here though. So the one we're gonna do in this session, I'm gonna change it just a little bit. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to make it with stuff that I had around the house, so we wouldn't have to go to the store. So I want to show you how I do this, and you may want to do it yourself because it's really not that hard. But if you don't want to, if you don't have the stuff, if you just don't have the confidence to do it, that's cool. I think we will start making these and making these available for people. So if you want us to make you one, let us know, and I'm happy to do it. But if you want to make one on your own, you can probably do that. You can probably pull this off. Anyway, let's do one. Okay, let me set this to the side. I'm just using, so can you kind of show them my table here? This is my conglomeration of tools. This is just stuff that I have, just basic tools, nothing fancy, nothing expensive. This chop saw is the most expensive thing I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be using it for one step. All right.
That's just water.
That was just water, by the way. It's not vodka. Although we could probably use it right now. Anyway, okay. I had some scrap 4x4 here at the house. This one is pressure treated, but it doesn't have to be. And it can be pine, cedar, it doesn't really matter. Just any old scrap 4x4. As long as it's, around about 4 to 6 inches long. The one that I made before, I made it 6 inches long, and I think it's a little big. So I'm going to cut this down just a little to 5 inches. So here we go. I'm going to cut this 5 inches long. Let me turn it around here. All right. All right. Sorry. All right, baby.
I don't have a mask.
All right. 5 inches long, a 4x4, which is actually 3.5 inches, and that'll come into play here in just a minute. Okay. I'm going to set the saw out of the way. I'm going to get some of this sawdust off of here just because it kind of gets in the way while we're working, All right. So, the first thing I want to do is I want to find the center of this. And in case you don't know, that is actually really easy. We can do this with a Sharpie, so I'll make sure it shows up. But I'm going to put any straight edge here from corner to corner and make a mark. Turn it, then do another from corner to corner. There we go. And where they intersect, that's the center of this. I want to do this on the other side also, and I'll show you why in just a minute. This whole process, by the way, probably won't take more than 15 minutes. That's what I'm thinking. All right, there we go. We've got that. While I'm measuring and doing stuff, I want to come up. I want to make a mark about, not about, but I want to make it 2 inches in. So, and this is going to be, again, about in the middle. Actually, I tell you what, I'm going to come on down, since we're shortening this guy up a little bit, I'm going to come on down to 1.5 inches. No, I'm not. I'm going to come down to 1 inch.
Oh, Lord, I didn't do good in math.
here we go. So I'm going to take my combination square. I'm running it down to 1 inch. This is just an easy way for me to keep a consistent mark going all the way around this. And I'll show you in a minute what I'm doing with these. I'm going to remark this and make this a little bigger. Okay, that should be all of those that we have to do. And if you guys, while you're watching, if you have any questions, just ask away, and Cretia can answer, or she can tell me and I can try to answer. But anyway, just ask if you have any questions. Okay, the premise of the Carpenter bee trap is for there to be a hole going up in here, and then there'll be some side channels angling up, intersecting with that hole in the middle. And the bees go up in there, they drop down, and then they can't get back out of the jar. So what we want to do first is we want to drill a hole in the middle, and we want to drill it almost all the way through. Now, the instructions that I found say use a 7/8 inch bit for this. I don't have a 7/8 inch bit, and we're using what we have. I've got a 3/4 inch bit, which is pretty close. So I'm going to drill that. Now, you can see if I went all the way down, that would be the whole length of the bit. I don't need to do that, but I just want to keep that in mind. I'm going to go down to about right here on the shaft while I'm drilling the hole. All right, here we go. There we go. Easy enough. Now that guy is done. Get a little more sawdust out of the way.
I wish you were this neat and tidy when you cooked in the kitchen.
Well, I'm not using every tool in my arsenal like I would in the kitchen. When I cook, I'm not a great cook, but when I do cook, I use every dish we've got. But I usually clean up afterwards, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, we're done with this 3/4 inch bit. Now I want to switch to a 1/2 inch bit. And some people call this a paddle bit, a spade bit, but it's not like a regular drill bit. You can see it's got this paddle on the end of it, and it just makes it really easy to make that hole. It's great for a larger diameter hole. Okay, so a 1/2 inch bit. Now, on the end where the hole is, I want to drill not straight into it, but I want to drill up at about a 45-degree angle. And that's so the bees will go up in there into that dark hole and find their way to the middle. So I want to drill up at an angle, and then when this goes in, you'll feel it intersect because you'll feel it punch through and go into that opening in there in the middle. One other thing that I have discovered is I can't hold this very well while I'm drilling. It could be a little dangerous, so my suggestion is to just clamp it down. I got a little 99-cent Harbor Freight clamp right here, and that does just fine. So the hole is down here. I'm going to drill at about a 45-degree angle until I feel it punch through. Now with this, I want to, one other thing I forgot. I need to make sure that I'm drilling in the middle of this. And since it's 3.5 inches, that means the middle of it is going to be about 1 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to set again my combination square at about 1 3/4 of an inch. Now, this board may not be exactly 3.5 inches, so we want to do a quick experiment. I'll turn it around to the other end. There we go. Now that is the middle of this. I'm going to do that on every side. Now when we drill, we know we're in the middle of here because that is in the middle of here. and in theory, they'll intersect. Okay, now, clamp it. Y'all hanging in there with me, right?
Yeah, I hadn't said hey to anybody.
Okay. All right, so just so you'll see, if you try to do this to start with, it might want to slip. So we want to kind of press it in a little, give it something to bite on. Now I can tilt it at about 45 degrees and go until I feel it go through. There it goes. Now I'm gonna knock something off. Now I don't know if you can see any of this or not. Can you see up in there how that comes through? Can you see that at all? Anyway, you may not be able to see it. Okay, anyway, but the bees go up in there. They fall in through here. So let's do the other 3 holes real quick. So while you're watching this, I'm assuming you guys are at home. What are y'all doing for the quarantine? What are you doing during our time at home? I mean, obviously, this is part of what we're doing. We're wishing we had somewhere to go, but I don't know if y'all have any plans or anything, but almost there. There's 3 of the 4. Now, in case you aren't aware, these carpenter bees, if you don't know what I'm talking about, carpenter bees are mistaken for bumblebees a lot. They look very similar to bumblebees, but they're not beneficial. They're beneficial in some capacity, but by and large, they are very destructive around your house. They will bore holes into your house, your garage, your shed. They're very, very destructive. And this is a great ecologically friendly way to control them. Some people like to catch these and then they'll take the jar and then they want to release them. No, we're not going to be releasing bees. We want to be done. Okay. We want to be done.
All right, Donald Trump. So Bobby Gearing says he's been doing yard work, which I'm sure everybody is doing, yard work of some sort.
We need to do some yard work. No, we need to cut the grass, but the pollen is so bad right now, and Jude has terrible allergies. So anyway, and he's getting at the age now where he really wants to ride the lawnmower and cut the grass, but I'm trying to discourage him from that just a little bit.
So if y'all happen to see us out and he's sneezing, it is allergies, we promise.
Yeah. All right. So the other thing I'm going to do is we're going to put an eye hook here. I'm not going to put it in just yet, but I'm going to go ahead and drill the hole for it. We're going to put an eye hook in here. That will be for hanging this, but I'm going to start a small hole. That'll make it a lot easier to put this guy in there. Okay, still going to set this to the side, but we wanted to drill that real quick. Now we're dealing with the pathway here for the bees. And I'm going to make sure we are good and cleaned out here, because we want them to have a clear path to be able to get through here. There we go. That looks pretty good. Yeah, we want them to have a clear path so it's real easy for them to get up and in there and do their thing. But now we've got to find a way to attach our jar. So take the lid off. This guy's going to be on there like that. we've got to find a way to, number one, to attach it here, and we've got to punch some kind of a hole through here. There's a lot of ways you can do it. I'm going to show you a very rough way, but it works. Okay, I'm going to, just for reference, I'm going to put a dot here, roughly in the middle of that. I'm going to then clamp this guy down. Now, can you clamp it this way? Yes, you can, but then it's going to make the lid lift up like that, which is not good. This, turning it upside down, will help keep it flat. The look of this doesn't really matter that much because nobody's going to see it but the bee. So I'm going to do two things. I need to drill a hole in this, and I've got a big 3/4 inch bit right here. This is the same size as the other 3/4 inch paddle bit we used, but I don't want to use this because trying to drill through the metal with this could be real damaging to these tips. So I'm gonna put that to the side. This is a wood/metal bit right here, so this is okay. But because it's got such a fat end on it, then when I put it on here and try to drill with it, it's gonna tend to want to drift, and it's gonna be hard to keep it in the middle. So I'm gonna start with a smaller bit just to kind of get us going. There we go. Now there'll be a few little metal shavings. Be real careful with this. I'm wearing glasses. You definitely want to wear some sort of safety glasses. Now this is going to get kind of funky. This is why I want this clamp on here. All right, I'm going to let this sit in that hole that I just drilled right there, and it's going to go real quick, okay? And it's not going to be pretty, but it doesn't matter. Just like that. There we go. Now there's the hole. Now look, this is what I was talking about. That's part of that metal right there. That stuff will cut you in a minute. So, set this to the side. We'll make some of this stuff out of our way. There's a few little bitty metal shavings there. Get those out of the way, because nobody wants to get hurt. Okay, now we're almost done, actually. All right, so we're going to see where this... Oh, I got a big old... Emma, that's your hair. That was on me. All right. There. Now, if you'll see, this is sitting right over that hole. And this is all centered on there so nicely. All right, so now I want to attach this. I'm going to do it with these screws. You don't have to do it with something this big. This is way too much. But I pulled these out of here, so that means I don't have to go get any other screws. So I'm just going to use the screws that I took out of this old 4x4. Also, remember, we're drilling in these angled holes on the sides. You don't want this to go down through one of those holes, so make sure you're attaching this at the corner of the wood. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It does? Okay. And now, real easy. I'm going to hold this here. I'm going to put a little pressure on it. There we go. Does it have to be perfect? No. And that's the beauty of this, is it can be really rough and it's perfectly fine. Uh-oh. There we go. I'm gonna put this guy in. If you're having a hard time doing this, let me know. I'll show you a really easy way to put this in with your drill, but I won't do it right now. There we go. This attaches there. You're ready to hang it up. And I'm gonna use, for ours, I'm just gonna use like some picture hanging wire. It doesn't matter if it's rust proof or anything like that. Or you can use string, you can use a chain, it doesn't matter. But anyway, there it is. There is our Carpenter bee trap. I'm pretty proud of that. So, nothing fancy. It's easy, and we made it with stuff that we already had here at the house. You could probably make one yourself. If you have any questions for me, if you want some help making one yourself, definitely let me know. I'm happy to help you. But if you want us to make some for you, I'm more than happy to do that. We'll probably be making something like this. If you want us to make something a little more decorative, we can definitely do that. This is very utilitarian, right?
It gets the job done.
It gets the job done. But if you want something that looks a little prettier, we can cut some angles on here. We could even paint some stuff on here. Paint the jar or whatever. But anyway, it's up to you. Let us know. We're happy to help you. Thanks. Everybody be safe. Stay at home.
Greg said, can I leave the green beans in the jar I'm using? No, Greg. We had to take the pickled okra out of this one. You got to take the beans out.
Alrighty. Thank you guys. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Oh, let us know if you want to see any more stuff like this. I enjoyed this, and we're here at home anyway, so we can put together a 15-20 minute thing and do more stuff like this. Let me know if you want to see something. I would love to do it. Thanks. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time.